If you are old enough, there's a slim chance you might recall a silent film actress once known as the Biograph Girl. Even less widely recognized is that she was the inventor of early versions of a couple of things most of us use every day. Her family named her Florence Annie Bridgewood at her birth in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. That was January 2nd of 1886. 3 years later, she joined her mother on stage in a song and dance routine and used the stage name Florence Lawrence. She became so good at it that by the age of 6, they were billing her as Baby Flo the Wonder Child. After her father's untimely death in 1898, she and her mom moved to live with relatives in Buffalo, and then in 1906, the pair moved to New York City. It was early that year that she first appeared in a motion picture, a silent, and that led to a role as Daniel Boone's daughter in a flick made by the Edison Manufacturing Company, and for that she was paid the princely sum of $5 a day for 2 weeks that it took to make that movie outdoors in freezing weather. Florence, by the way, got the job in part because she knew how to ride a horse. Her appearance in that movie led her to getting more roles in films produced by Biograph Studios. That included parts in most of the 60 films directed by the famed D.W. Griffith in 1908 alone. However, in that era, the names of actors were never credited, the studios fearing it would lead to demands for higher wages, and because many performers were embarrassed to have it known they were doing the pantomime in silent films. So when Florence first became wildly popular, fans knew her only as the Biograph Girl. But she was successful in asking to be paid by the week rather than daily, and she wound up getting more than double the normal rate. Then in 1910, moviegoers finally learned her name through a studio publicity stunt. Because of that, in fact, she's often referred to as the first movie star. She ultimately appeared in over 300 films throughout that silent picture career, which pretty much came to an end when movies began to feature sound. Sadly, in retirement, she was diagnosed with the then uncurable bone marrow disease in 1937. The chronic pain and no hope for recovery are believed to have led her to use ant poison to end her life a year later. She was 52. Oh, and about her connection to that stuff you use. She was a car lover at a time when only some of those vehicles had even rudimentary electrical systems. So she invented a rig that would allow a driver to press a button that would pop up a flag on the rear bumper showing they were about to make a turn. It was the precursor of turn signals. Since most cars of the era didn't have brake lights, Florence also devised a system to raise a flag indicating the car was about to stop. And a few years later, she came up with an early version of electric windshield wipers. Sadly, she never patented any of these. She did not make a dime from her inventions. But all of us who drive owe Florence Lawrence a debt of gratitude every time we use the modern version of what the sometimes forgotten silent film star dreamed up all those years ago.